Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. 843 is our solve count as we get back into the overworld here. If you didn't see last episode, we spent a bunch of time going through this hedge mage garden, or that might have been 2 episodes ago, worked our way through some of the compass area before then doing this puzzle here. Took me like an hour, but I got it done. And then we came to here where we have learned that they have now put up crimson plinths in the rest of the areas. I don't know when we might get access to over there. We also have this spiral available to us now that is new. Just as restoration progress 1 of 9. Was that this as the one? No. Did I do one here? I didn't do that one. Either way, we now have these crimson plinths and all of the areas are unlocked. So rather than doing too much in the compass stuff, we're going to scooch our way all the way back here. We did this crimson one here, which then gave us jewels around this window. So that one's finished. And I'm just going to kind of start mooching around, seeing what we find as we go. This is difficulty 6 already, which is very big. With this shape bank. Now, the first things I'm thinking about are how this is 5 tall, this is 4, this is 4, this is 3, and this is 5. With what we have of a 2x2 and this 3x3 with a hole cut out of it, what can we make exist here? So, I think we certainly can't have a 2x2 leaving a 1. So, this has to be full 3 bars. But what we don't know is whether it's going to be this or this, or this or this as our kickoff. But these will certainly need to be coloured in some capacity. So let's start with the side that is closer to this wall. So at most, it could be this far over. Well, let's think about something else first. It can't be this, because we can't have a 1 sticking out. So whichever way it goes, it's going to have to be 2 at the bottom. But again, it just depends on where the lines are for this. Because we can do that and then have a 2x2 there. But then trying to build this up, this would have to be 3 wide, which would result in this, and we can't have that one there. So this breaks down pretty fast. So let's move this whole thing over 1 to the right. And that would be this. Then that shape would fill this 3x3 gap, leaving a 2x2. Now, it can't be this because it leaves a narrow gap there. But we could do a stacked tier of 2x2s until there's enough space for it to get out effectively. Now, we can't do this because oh no, we could do a 4 wide like that, technically. Is this gonna all come breaking down though? Because I concede I did a decent amount of colouring to just get this far in, because I wasn't sure where the logic might lie for us to continue. But now we've got a single piece here, and we can't have that. So the question becomes, how correct do I think this is? Well, we tried that one over. This can't be one further because that would leave a single pip or a single cell there. So I feel reasonable about this situation. It leaves 3 on both sides. And we can't do that and leave a single. And we can't do that and leave a single. So this, so far, I like. This can't be a 2x2 because it leaves a single. So I believe that's going to be that. That can't be this. So I think that would have to be this. Any other way that could go? Can't do that. Basically, no. So then we can't do that because we can't leave this. Can't do that because you can't leave this. But now we can do this. But it doesn't have to go that way. So I'm pretty happy with the bottom half of the puzzle. But then there's a lot of freedom going upwards. So give me a undo save state here. So if I start undoing en masse, I know that when these start disappearing, I've reached how far back in time I want to go. So this is either this or this. If it's this, that would have to be a 3x3 and can't do that. So that would have to be that. Then can't be this because that breaks. And then we'd start walking 2x2s over for a while. But then that could do that. Now, this is 5 high, which we can't do 2x2s up 5 high. So that leaves a 4 that doesn't work out. If this was that, that would have to be that. Oh, would you look at this? Beautiful. And that was only 8 minutes for a difficulty 6 puzzle. And that is our Glimmith Overlook. Tab, show hidden puzzles. Well, we found them all. Can I see what that might look like? Oh, it like really, really brightens them up. So if I was missing that one there, there is a slight streak of light just there. But we can really make that more pronounced. Right. God, Delta and Geminis were introduced so long ago, weren't they? What side do we have over here? Roses. Goody. So there's a 6. What's that one down there? Can I see you? That's a 5, I think. Yeah, difficulty 5. There's you there. There's one hiding back here. Gosh. Right, well, you join that. Anything with 2 reds next to each other has to have a line. Same for the blues. And we have to make them out of these shapes. So this blue needs a red. Can't find one there, can't find one there. It's going to get this one. It's just about whether it goes up or down. So this is a matched pair. This is going left or right, but we don't know which yet, so that's a line. This red here can only reach this blue. It can't go to any others. And therefore it's not getting any of those. Has to join that. That means you get that one. And you get that one. We can get rid of this little note. That makes that a straight line of 3, that a straight line of 3, that a straight line of 3, that a hook, that a 3. Well, this all starts falling into place real fast, doesn't it? Lovely. What else do we have? A 4. So each region has exactly one symbol, but the puzzle here is how do we get areas... Wait. Why is that letting me be on both sides of a wall? Did I change a setting? I did change a setting. I must have. Show errors. Enabled? Yeah, that's what I'm used to. Okay. So this tile has to get out, that tile has to get out. The tile that includes this piece at most can cover this much ground, which is not a lot because it can't go up that way, can't take that one, we can't trap that in alone. So that's as much real estate as this can consume, I believe. Who's going to take this one? It can't be you and it can't be you. You can't pick up that. We can't do that. We can't do that. I don't know where my logic to start is here. I can't remember if I said at the top of the episode, but get ready for me to jump around a lot now that we have kind of this full island of stuff available to us. Now I don't feel kind of locked into any particular thing, and we've been in the game now for like 60 hours or something, so I'm just like happy to go around to wherever my brain feels joy. If this came up this way instead, it blocks that in, which doesn't feel great. Everything's fine apart from this one tile. I don't know if my brain doesn't see the move. How tough are you? A 4. My eyes can't deal with that right now. Where's blocky and stuff? Shape bank. Shape bank I can do. There's 6 more for shape bank. Are they all red? Am I missing one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not you. Oh wait, that's the... Is that your window? Yeah. 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there like one super puzzle that appears after I've done those? I don't know. 5, 5, 4, 3, 6. Right, well, that can't do that. So that gets that. This can't do this. That was easy. Big T and cross. That can't be part of a cross. That can't be part of a cross. That can't be part of a cross. That can. Easy. How was that a 4? I still don't understand your grading scale, game. 5, 6, 5. Is it you? Oh, it is you. This looks like a nightmare. I guess I didn't realize that you had both sides of this pathway. Okay. Well. How do we logic our way into this? We can have 1, 3, 2, 3. So that's this shape. And then the other valid shape is that. Right, here's a very interesting thing to think about. We have these huge plain flat walls. So this must be in the corners, right? So that's 3 over, 3 down. I've got to flip and rotate stuff in my head now. The middle line is going to be 4. 3, 2, 3 is this. It's a 3, 4, 1, 1. 3, 4, 1, 1. Now, whether it goes up or down or not, we don't know. But that's the only way we can fit stuff into the corners. So all the corners are going to exist with part of this. It's then just whether this domino is here or here. So we can kind of make representations of that like that. Well, on this corner, it can't be this shape because it leaves the 1. So that has to be that. And then we have to fit another one in here. So it's going to be 1, 3, 2, 3. That has to go there. What's going to fit in this gap here that we have created? I don't know. Is this right? Because it looks like it wants to be that, but then this doesn't fit. We definitely can't put this in a corner, ever. It can't be that, because this shape just can't exist in any capacity. Which means that's going to be that. Can this exist here? Doesn't look like it can. And now I'm worried I've misunderstood this whole corner. You did 3, 4, 2, no. 3, 4, 1, it would be that. That makes that. And if I flip that round, we take that out and put that in, it doesn't go. That leaves the 1. There's no other way we can do this corner, right? Like, we can't do that because the resulting 3 by 3 leaves a 1. Oh. That's definitely not how that was a second ago, but that definitely works. So that then goes there sufficiently. Okay. This little single nubbin can't be the 4 with a 3. Oh, it can be that. Can't it? So that can be that, but it could also be... It has to be that. Because if it was the 3-liners, we can't have this 1 existing. Okay, cool. So this is a 4, 3, 1, 1. And then that's spreading out to there and doing that. We're quickly running out of room here, which is good. Like, because the shapes are so big, there's only going to be like 12 tiles here, or however many it works out to. Which I'm a big fan of. Are we going to have to see this shape reflected over here because of the height? So do I think this is going to be this and that? And then we're just kind of working with these being new corners. So this would be a 3, 2. I'm not certain about this now. This is giving me pause. Because this ends up being 2 3 by 3s, which does not fit at all. So I'm not even sure that has to go there like that. It's just these that I was happy with. Well, here's what I do know from what I've built so far is this corner has to be one of our lefty shapes here, doesn't it? So we know what they look like. They are this with a domino in them. It can't be that domino. So it's that domino. Lock that in. That means that this is that. Now I have a new corner, which has to be this plus a domino. That wasn't so bad, was it? That was quite a nice one. Right, 3 more to do. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6. Very scary looking 5, right? That was you. Shape bank. 2 and 4, and 3 and 2. But those 2 ways of making notes are not the same thing. Right, this has to be a 3. And it has to be a 3 with a 2 either here or here, but not both. Now, what's interesting about that is that the remaining space could either be this and this. After that, that would be valid. Or it could go the other way. You end up with that, and it'd have to be this. Obviously, this part of the puzzle is symmetrical. It's this where it breaks down the symmetry. So let's think about this here. This 2-block end can't be any piece of horizontal unless it was... Oh, it could be that, and then that could be that. But I was also thinking about it being a possibility of that. However, if this were true, then there's no way we could have a 3 long here. So this can't be this. Right? So it'd have to be that way. Which leads me to think that this is more likely to be correct. Then we have a similar problem down here for how we get out of this. Because we can't do that. Great. Alright, so that's 6. This really funky looking 5. Well, first thing I think about is this dented flat 3. With this shape, there's no way to make 3 ends meet there. So I think this has to be 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus this or this. My adorable little airplane. Well, it can't be that because that leaves a 1-er. So lock that in, please. Put an box around it. This could be this, but I don't think we can then fill in what remains up here in any reasonable way, which then otherwise suggests that it has to be that. How can we get 2 dentations there? It would have to be that. Looks like it's going to be that. Then this is a flat 3. It has to be that way. Does this work? Can I now get anything in here that carries on the fit? It does. Okay, let's just hope this continues on really nicely. It's looking good. Super. Like, maybe my brain just really gels with this mechanic, but those did not feel like 5s. And then we have this monstrosity. Okay. Well, this tile, what can it belong to? Can't do that shape with it. Can't do that shape with it. So that gets that. Put a box around it. That gets that. Put a box around that as well. That could do this. I mean, either I've just cooked or I've made a very terrible mistake somewhere along there. One of the two. How can we get around that? Not like that. Should I go back and do any amount of due diligence here? Nah. Okay. A single piece could do that. That. How do we fill this up, though? This has to either be that or that. Excuse you. Has to be this or this. So we can put a line there, and do bulbs. Look at my lovely little aeroplane. So this has to go like that. Which is then going to leave this here. Oh god, it could be this. Could be that. That's frightening. Right, now I'm just colouring. I'm not going to tell you guys otherwise. I'm worried that this is not correct, because I can't seem to get out of this corner now. Can't do that, because two pieces in a row can't exist. There's no way that that can exist. Yeah, I'm worried about what I've put myself into here. So we decided that this must either be this shape or this shape. Which means this... I mean, is entirely hypothetical then that this is that shape as well, right? It could go like that and like that. And then onwards. Big question is, am I super happy with this still? Because if this is wrong, then beef, you know? Let's just rebuild this, and if I rebuild it the same way without any extra input, then it's probably correct. So, that can't be that. Was that what it was? That's one of the options. How else can we do two on an end? We can't do a big zigzag. Can't do that there. What tile can this belong to? Because it can't be this, because that leaves a single. It can't be 1 and then 3 and 1. So this has to belong to a P. Which way around did I do this the first time? Did I do this? Oh god. No, that can totally do that. I think that's how I've made it 3 times now, so I feel pretty good about that. This corner had to come out to there. This 2 could be that. Could be that. Could be that. So that's not useful to me at all. This single piece here. Could be that. Could be that. I don't think it can be this because we can't leave 3 straight in a row. Where else can I find logic here? Well, this corner can't be 3 long. I don't think a U shape on any of these makes this viable, because we can't do that. That's not viable. That's not viable. That's not viable. That's not viable. So if it's not a U shape, we have to get this tile touching something. It can't be part of a P, so it has to be part of a Z. Which way can the Z go? Could be that way. Could be that way. If it's this way, this can't exist. So I think that has to go there. I think. Which then leaves me wondering, how would we ever fill this in? Because I can't see a way that I can put that in there and then fill this in. So maybe that's not right at all. Oh, goody. This flat piece here of 3. There's a couple ways we could do that, isn't there? That doesn't work out for that. That also doesn't work out for that. How do we fill this top corner space? What way at all can we do it? We can't leave a 3 long, unless this is wrong. Oh, goodness. I'm having real doubts over this again. Which seems daft after how many times I've redone this. only finding one viable way to fill. Can't do that. This can't ever be a shape. Can't do this. Because that can't be a shape. Can't do that for sure. Which leaves us with this, and this, and this. And this. It still seems to just leave us with those. But no matter what I do, I can't find a way to fill this top left corner that works. Like this tile must be part of... It can't be part of a Z. Ever. Because it can't go there. Can't go upwards. So it has to either be this, which can't leave that. Can't have that. Ooh. Okay. That makes that actually fit. As for the rest of it, well, hello. I've definitely half filled down here before once already. Can I do it in a way that continues to be satisfactory? Yeah. So this corner was really just the thing holding my brain up. But that is a jeweled shape bank. One of the mechanics that has gelled with my brain the best. And that seems like a very good kind of cap for today's explorations. Thank you ever so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.